Admiral Zektar of the Hegemony Fleet gazed through the viewport of his flagship, the Dominion's Edge, at the small blue planet below. His mandibles clicked in what his species considered amusement. In 3 centuries of conquest, the Hegemony had never encountered a species foolish enough to reject their ultimatum, yet these humans had done exactly that. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, "their primitive vessels are moving into defensive positions around their homeworld. Shall we proceed with standard pacification protocols?" Zektar's 4 eyes focused on the tactical display. Dozens of human ships, crude metal constructs barely worthy of the name spacecraft, arranged themselves in a pathetic defensive grid. Their largest vessel was perhaps 1/10 the size of his smallest destroyer. "How quaint," he rumbled. "They think those toys can challenge the might of 700 Hegemony warships." He turned to his communications officer. "Broadcast another surrender demand. Perhaps seeing our full fleet will restore their sanity." The transmission went out across all human frequencies. "Primitive species of Sol 3, you have witnessed the arrival of the Hegemony Fleet. Your resistance is meaningless. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift. Continue this futile defiance, and we will make your suffering legendary across the galaxy." The response came not in words, but in action. Lieutenant Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of the UES Defiance as the alien fleet began its attack run. Around her, the crew worked with grim determination, their faces illuminated by the glow of tactical displays showing impossible odds. "Ma'am," reported the weapons officer, "all missile tubes loaded, MAC guns charged and ready." Captain Martinez stepped forward, his weathered face set in stone. "Remember, people, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every human, whoever dared to dream of the stars." Fire at will. The first salvo erupted from the human fleet like an angry swarm of metallic wasps. Nuclear warheads, kinetic penetrators, and experimental plasma charges streaked across the void toward the alien armada. Zektar watched the primitive projectiles approach and almost laughed. His fleet's energy shields could deflect anything these backwards creatures could. The first nuclear detonation bloomed against his flagship's shields like a miniature star. Then another, and another. Within seconds, hundreds of warheads were detonating in coordinated strikes, each explosion precisely timed and targeted. "Impossible," he whispered as his ship's shield generators screamed warnings. "How are they penetrating?" "Our defenses?" His tactical officer's voice was strained. "Admiral, they're not trying to penetrate them. They're overloading them. Each detonation is perfectly calibrated to our shield frequency. They've been studying us since we entered their system." The truth was even more terrifying than Zektar realized. For 3 days, since the Hegemony fleet had arrived and begun their arrogant posturing, every radio telescope, deep space scanner, and quantum sensor on Earth had been analyzing their technology. Human scientists, working around the clock with a desperation born of species survival, had cracked the aliens' shield harmonics in 72 hours. Humanity's gift wasn't superior technology. It was adaptation under pressure. As the Hegemony, shields flickered and failed under the precisely orchestrated assault. The second wave of human attacks began. Kinetic kill vehicles, massive tungsten rods accelerated to near-light speed by electromagnetic launchers, punched through alien hulls like bullets through paper. Commander Elena Rodriguez piloted her fighter squadron through the chaos. Her ship, barely larger than an atmospheric aircraft compared to the massive alien vessels. But size meant nothing when your enemy couldn't see you coming. "Ghost Squadron, this is Ghost Leader," she transmitted. "Remember, they're scanning for large metal signatures. Our carbon fiber hulls make us invisible to their sensors. Hit the command ships and get out." Her squadron swept through the alien. Formation like phantoms, their small ships weaving between the massive alien vessels. Precision charges planted on critical systems turned the enemy's own power cores into weapons. One by one, command ships began exploding from within. Aboard the Dominion's Edge, alarms shrieked as system after system went dark. Zektar could barely comprehend what was happening. These humans fought like no species he'd ever encountered. They didn't rely on superior firepower or advanced shields. They used cunning, adaptation, and a terrifying willingness to sacrifice everything for victory. "Admiral," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the human flagship." Captain Martinez's image appeared on the main screen, his uniform torn and blood trickling from a head wound. Behind him, his bridge sparked and smoked from battle damage, but his eyes burned with an intensity that made Zektar's skin crawl. "This is Captain Martinez of the United Earth Space Force," the human said. "You came here expecting us to kneel. You thought we'd beg for mercy. You were wrong. This is Earth, and we bow to no one. Every ship you lose, every soldier that dies, remember this. You brought this on yourselves." The transmission cut off as another wave of human attacks began. This time, they weren't just using conventional weapons. Civilian vessels, cargo haulers, mining ships, even luxury yachts had been retrofitted with engines capable of ramming speed. Piloted by volunteers, they screamed toward the alien capital ships on suicide runs that turned spacecraft into guided missiles. Zektar watched in horror as a human cargo vessel, its hull glowing white-hot from atmospheric friction, slammed into his fleet's ammunition ship. The resulting explosion took out 3 destroyers and crippled a battlecruiser. "They're insane," he whispered. "Completely insane." His tactical officer corrected him with a trembling voice. "No, Admiral, they're desperate. And desperate humans are the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy." As the battle raged, the hegemony fleet found itself being systematically dismantled by an enemy that refused to fight by conventional rules. The humans used everything, ramming attacks, hacked communication networks to spread confusion, even weaponized space debris guided by primitive but effective targeting systems. Within 6 hours, over half the hegemony fleet was destroyed or disabled. The remainder fled toward the edge of the system, their admiral's pride replaced by a cold fear he'd never experienced before. As Earth's defenders regrouped around their homeworld, Sarah Chen looked out at the debris field that had once been an alien armada. The victory had cost them nearly everything. Most of their fleet was gone, and casualty reports were staggering, but they had won. Captain Martinez's voice echoed across all human frequencies. "Let this be a message to anyone listening across the stars. Humanity will not yield. We will not surrender. And we will never stop fighting for our freedom. This is Earth, and Earth stands unconquered." In the depths of space, fleeing alien survivors carried that message to every corner of the galaxy. The hegemony had expected to find another conquered world. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous: human resolve. The war was just beginning, but the galaxy would learn what Earth already knew: underestimate humanity at your own peril.